presence on our campus is really an historic occasion. In my investigation in this 150th anniversary year, I determined, unless someone can correct me, that never have we had a president in office or out of office who has visited the campus of this institution since its inception. That is something special. Eisenhower hadn't been president yet when he came here. I was prepared for that. He was a general at the time. A former center for the University of Richmond.
President Heilman, Governor Dalton, distinguished guests, it's really a very high honor and a great privilege to come to the University of Richmond campus to hopefully meet some of the spotters who are doing quite well this fall. And to make some observations here of a non-political nature, to be followed by some that might have some political ramifications. I'm always impressed with the introductions that are given. With all apologies to the clergy who are present, it prompts me to offer a little prayer that goes something like this. Oh Lord, please forgive President Heilman for exaggerating so much. And oh Lord, please forgive me for enjoying it so much. When they start talking about one's alleged athletic prowess, I find the longer you get away from reality, the better the stories get. And that's simply understood because there are fewer and fewer people around who know the truth. As a matter of fact, I was at the University of Michigan campus about a week ago. I helicoptered in to make a speech to the student body, and in the process dropped by the football field. And I made the observations to the Michigan squad that I played so far back at the university that it was back when the ball was round. And that's true. The ball has changed significantly in appearance and otherwise. But I am here for two reasons. One, I'm delighted to participate in anything that relates to athletics, football. I feel very strongly that my years at the University of Michigan, subsequently 5 years coaching at Yale University, where I was privileged to get my law degree in the process. The experiences I had both as a player and a coach were invaluable. Not only the associations I made, but the lessons I learned. And one was that you have to develop a somewhat thick skin, especially when dealing with the press, with all apologies to the press. If anyone thinks the political press are tough, believe me, the sports page is about as rough as it can get. But nevertheless, I still pick up the morning paper and read the sports page first, because at least you have a 50-50 chance of being right. But I am devoted to athletics. I'm devoted to football especially. And I hope and trust that this luncheon will be tremendously successful in launching your $5 million endowment program to make scholarships available to deserving prospective students and participants. Going back to the University of Michigan campus for a second, in 1931, when I entered the University of Michigan, the Big Ten prohibited any scholarships for athletes. And the coach at Michigan at the time was Harry Kipke. He got me a job waiting table at the interns' dining room at the University of Michigan Hospital, and cleaning up after lunch at the nurses' cafeteria. That was the only aid and assistance that was available. They got you a job. And we spent relatively as much time on the practice field and otherwise as those students today who get scholarships. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm greatly in favor of athletic scholarships for academically qualified students. I think because of their extraordinary time devoted on behalf of the university, they are deserving of recognition with scholarships. And I equally emphasize, as you may have noted, academically qualified participants in athletics. So I hope and trust that this is a most successful effort. And I would add one other feature. It's a great pleasure at all times to come to a non-state supported private institution of higher education. I am a sort of a hybrid. I got my high school and primary educations in the public schools, went to a public institution of higher learning, and then went to Yale Law School, a totally privately endowed school. But I happen to believe that competition in education is as good as competition in athletics. I would deplore and vigorously oppose education in our country totally dominated by the public sector. Education is enhanced for the students, for the faculty, and for the country because we have competition between private institutions and public institutions. And those who want to make a monopoly out of education through a Department of Education at the federal level are misguided because it will undercut and make less effective education in the future. Competition makes the student, the professor, do better. And therefore, I strongly endorse your efforts here to strengthen, to expand, to improve the University of Richmond. You've got a great heritage and a great tradition, but I say with emphasis, make it better as we move ahead in this very competitive world, not only in education, but otherwise. Thank you very, very much. There is a good friend of mine, I just learned in the audience, he and I played football together. He was a graduate of the University of Richmond, and I from the University of Michigan. We played in several postseason games. Is Art Jones here? Art? Oh, hi. Art was a good football player. And he looks like he was in good shape at the present time. Good to see you, Art, and I hope to see you after lunch.
President Ford was here once before and made one of the few mistakes in his lifetime, brought his son down here to look at the University of Richmond and sent him to Wake Forest. On behalf, the last time we played them as a result, we beat them 41-0. President Ford, on behalf of the university and this athletic program in particular, I want to express appreciation for your having come. The fact of your being on this campus, the reason for your coming is coincidental to this particular program, but what a happy outcome that was for us. We'll raise our $5 million and go over because of it. Because you've honored us, we want to make you an honorary coach of the Richmond Spiders. And our coach Shealy, with part of the uniform you must wear in order to be this, is around here somewhere. Coach Shealy, come up and bring the cap. he's going to place this on, and while Coach Boone is coming with the coat with a familiar number 48 from Michigan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Now, the responsibility that goes with that is today to leave a secret play that will help us to overcome VMI on Saturday, and that we might see you on the ski slopes of Vail, Colorado on cool mornings in the snow, and even at Palm Springs on chilly days with the colors of Richmond.
Well, I thank you very much, Coach Shealy. I'm not really competent to participate. I do find that in retirement, I have more time to work on my golf and my skiing. I fall down less on the snowy slopes of Colorado, or at least my friends in the press don't pay as much attention to it. And fortunately, I hit fewer spectators on the golf circuit. So it's nice to be here. I'm deeply grateful. I don't think you need any advice from a has-been center on how to win the next ball game, but I do wish you and the spotters the very, very best for the rest of the season. Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Set the tone for ourselves.
Good luck. Very happy to. So nice to see you. Nice to see you.
What a wonderful surprise, and what an excellent way to set the tone for our luncheon today. We certainly thank Mr. Ford for taking the time to be with us, and I think his message was most appropriate. Again, let me welcome you to our kickoff luncheon. It's indeed pleasing to see such a marvelous turnout, but it's really not surprising because these are exciting times for